What's up, Diggletdreamers? You got Diggletdreams here, and this is a first video of its kind. Lately, as many competitive players probably know, the OU metagame has been getting pretty stale. Not to mention the other, I guess UU, RU, and NUPU aren't as stale, but metagame in general is just getting a little bit stale these days. So, to remedy that, I decided to play some DPP OU, which, for those who don't know, is Diamond Pearl Platinum OU. So 4th gen OU in another way of saying it. But I'm pretty sure this is where competitive really got going originally. People might have played in 3rd gen, but I think this is when it really started to take its stride. I wanted to freshen up the game for me a little bit, so I thought this would be a good way to do it. I've never played this before. I've never played DPP at all competitively. I have played the games. I just haven't played competitively. It looks really interesting. There's lots of cool stuff, like Scald isn't a thing. You don't get team preview, which is really interesting. So I'm gonna have to try to remember exactly what happens in this match. But this was my first match. I went onto the Showdown and built a team and just found a match, and I got a match really quick, which I did not expect. I expected to wait 15 minutes and then get a match, but I actually got one pretty much immediately. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, let's dive right in. So I led Azelphus, he led Empoleon. I am very partial to offensive teams, so I decided to run with that in this format. I went with an Azelf lead with Taunt, Stealth Rocks, and I think Explosion. So I decided to go for Taunt here, figuring that Empoleon would want to get up rocks or something. So I taunt him, and I actually get completely destroyed by this Hydro Pump. Azelf goes right down, so I'm like, oh, not a great start. But I decided to go into my Flygon. Flygon is much more useful in OU in this generation because is Garchomp? Yeah, Garchomp was this generation, but there's no fairies. There's nothing like that. So Flygon hasn't been outpowered just yet. In Gen 5, it's going to drop to UU, and then finally in ORAS, it's going to drop to RU. But for now, it is pretty comfortable in OU, it seems. So I know he's going to fear the Earthquake here, so I do click U-turn, and it actually stays in. So I go into my Rotom and actually get almost obliterated by that Hydro Pump. My Citrus Berry does help me a little bit, but I am just going to go for the Thunderbolt because I don't think Volt Switch is a thing in this generation. But I don't really need this Rotom isn't helping me, so I'm just going to keep breaking his sub until he does go for the Shadow Ball. And then I'm going to go back in my Flygon here. I decided to go back into Flygon because I didn't want to reveal any of my other team members just yet. I do have a Weavile back there, but I wanted to hold on to it for now. I can just go into this thing, go into Flygon and click a U-turn, and it'll pick up the KO on the Gengar, and if he does want to save it, then it'll get me initiative. So I decided to just do that. So I go for the U-turn, the Gengar goes down, and now I decide to bring out my Weavile as he decides to go into Gyarados. This thing is a big threat. It pretty much walls my Weavile, unfortunately. So I am forced to switch out into my Flygon as I go for the Waterfall, which does so much. Gyarados is such a threat. Holy crap. He decided to switch into his own Flygon there as I do go for another U-turn, predicting him to switch. And I bring my Weavile back out, of course, to threaten the Flygon as he pulls a switch into his Metagross. So I go for the Ice Punch. It doesn't do much. Here, my remaining 2 Pokemon... Oh, what are they? My remaining 2 Pokemon are Heatran and Raikou. So I don't really want to switch in on this thing. I'm not too familiar with movesets these days, or not movesets these days, movesets in this generation. So I know that Earthquake is definitely a possibility, so I don't want to switch in my other 2 Pokemon on this thing. I also don't really want to switch Flygon in because it helps me out a lot if I get a clean switch. It hits all of his members really hard right now because of Earthquake, Dragon, Outrage, and I do have Stone Edge for the Gyarados too. So I do want to hold that thing, and it's already pretty weak, so I don't want it to take another hit. So I decided to just go for the Night Slash on this Metagross. It doesn't do much, unfortunately, because Steel does resist Dark in this generation, so it is neutral, as he does go for the Rock Polish. So it's really scary, as he takes me out with another Meteor Mash there. I decided to bring out my Heatran here, basically hoping that he doesn't run Earthquake. And fortunately, it doesn't seem like he has it, because he does go for the Meteor Mash there, as I'm able to hit him with a Lava Plume and take him out, as he then decides to go into Flygon. And here, I am in a really tight position. I can't really switch in either of my remaining Pokemon. I do have Calm Mind Raikou in the back, which is pretty much what the team is built around to try to get that thing to finish the game. Flygon can't really switch in because he could potentially predict that, go for a U-turn, or even go for a Dragon-type move. Heatran can't really stay in either, though, because if I can't get wrecked by a Ground-type move. But my ultimate decision here was Heatran is my least valuable Pokemon, so I decided to just stay in. He goes for the Draco Meteor, trying to make a prediction there, I assume, and I'm able to hit him with a Lava Plume, which doesn't do much. But then on the following turn, he actually goes for the Fire Blast, so it activates my Flash Fire, and I'm able to pick up the KO on the next Lava Plume. So I guess he just really wanted me to switch there. He doesn't know that I have a Raikou in my last yet, so he was I guess he was just trying to figure out. He was trying to predict, and it kind of cost him there. So he loses his Flygon, and he goes into his last, which is Medicham, as it does go for the high jump kick there, and finishes me off. Again, I didn't really want to switch in, so I just kind of had to stay in there. Then I go into my Flygon here, and I just go for the Outrage. I still don't want to reveal my Raikou yet, because I want to keep that. I know if I can take out this Medicham, then Raikou can finish off the game with his 2 remaining water types. So I am able to get him to stay in there with it, and as I KO the Medicham with Outrage, he does decide to Intimidate swap me there with his Gyarados, and then the Empoleon comes in to take the Outrage really nicely. I don't really want to switch in though, so I'm just going to let my Flygon go down, as he does click Hydro Pump and Flygon goes down, and I could just come in with a Raikou, and that is actually going to be the game. I just click Thunderbolt, KOs the Empoleon, and obviously it's going to KO the Gyarados as well. So I'm pretty pumped. I got my win. The first battle I've ever played in competitive Diamond Pearl Platinum OU. It was pretty cool. It did not look good in the first half of the battle, but I managed to come through in the end with Raikou, so I'm pretty pumped. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, but if you also want to see more Diamond Pearl Platinum, hit that like button. If you have any suggestions on how to play this tier, definitely leave those in the comment section. If you want to see anything, like any specific teams or movesets, let me know. And yeah, I'm definitely interested in playing more of this. Maybe we'll do a live sometime. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep dreaming. Peace out.